Good morning.
Hello. Okay, I'm just waiting for Alyssa to come in. Oh, she already made me the host. That's great. Let me get some stuff ready to share here. That works better. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right. Alyssa, are you still on? Let's see. Oh, hers still says connecting to audio. We'll give her a minute. Looks like people are coming in. Just get this set up. We will have one video, so I want to make sure I set it up so you can hear it when it plays. There we go. All right. And we will get started in about 1 or 2 minutes. All right.
There under your email address, and I just go in and send it. Put you in as a contact, and they should be able to send it.
All right. So I did go ahead and mute everyone. So that said, this is going to be a participatory group is my intention and my hope. I don't think anybody, myself included, wants to hear only me talk for 2 hours. So when it's time, I'd love to hear from you. You are more than welcome. You'll just need to make sure that you unmute yourself. But this way we'll make sure we don't hear any unintended conversations. And we will get started here in just a minute. I see people are still coming in. All right. I'm sure people will continue to join, and that is perfectly fine. And I want to make sure I honor the time of those of you who were here and ready and on time, because I greatly appreciate it. So for anyone that I haven't met yet, my name is Tabitha Gussler. I am the team leader of Keller Williams Excel Realty. I've been with Keller Williams in leadership, both as a team leader and as a productivity coach and as an agent here in Ohio for 6 years, and for a few years in Florida as a team agent before that, back in the early 2000s. So I am excited to share with you this session of Ignite. And this is the new Ignite, or Ignite Labs 2.0. This is Spark. So in the rotation, Spark is intended to be taken prior to what's called Elementals, which is what we actually ran last month, and we run them in an alternating cycle. So what we're going to talk about today is powerful language to get powerful results. And as I promised in that very short sort of intro video, I want to make sure that this class is really useful to you. We are going to go by the PowerPoint, but I am going to kind of bounce in and out a little bit because I want to show you very specifically where you can access all of the resources that we're going to use today. Rather than me just flashing it up on the screen, I really want to show you how to get your own direct access to everything in full, both for this Ignite and for anything else. And then I also do want to take some time and would love to ask for your active participation. I do realize that not everyone is in a space where they can be on camera all the time, but if you are, I'd love to see you, makeup or not, hair done or not. I love to see your faces. It's a lot more fun and interesting and helpful to me as an instructor than looking at a big set of black boxes with your names in them, although I do understand you can't all be on camera. I will do my absolute best to answer things that are in the chat, and everyone, as I mentioned earlier, is able to completely unmute themselves and talk when you'd like to. So if there's something that I'm showing, and especially if there's something I'm talking about and I'm saying, see, and you're going, no, I don't see, I can't see what you're talking about, stop me and let me know, because we're going to bounce in and out of sharing different things. And I want to make sure that you guys really kind of get what you are looking for out of this, right? So what we're not going to do, the only parts that we really can't do is there's a couple of these activities, and this class was meant to be done in person. So there's a couple things that say break off into partners, for example. If I have the type of Zoom that can do that, I don't know how to do that. So anything like that, we will spend just a little bit of time doing those activities as a group, which means I'd love to hear from you guys. And then there will be some other things that I'll recommend that you do kind of in your own time. And then at the end, what I'd love to do is find out from you guys, because we aren't able to do a lot of script practice with partners, everyone is not going to get a chance to say scripts today. And so we'd love to know and be thinking about at the end, I'd like to ask for anyone who would like to have a script partner or schedule a script practice with a peer. And I will take all of those numbers down, pair you up, and put you together so that you can have that one-on-one time in that script practice that I think is so very important. Last thing I'll tell you before we get started is I'm a big believer in scripts, but not necessarily in the way that is kind of the old-fashioned KW, right? So we used to say these exact words exactly as it's written, put a pause here, put your name on this line, do not deviate whatsoever. And once you've sold more than 100 houses, which is how many houses the person who wrote this sold, then you can write your own, right? That kind of was the old way of us teaching this. Now what we've said is use the language and the ideas of the script, right? Sort of the flow and the persuasive nature of the scripts. Take that and then make it your own so that it sounds like you. Practice it, rewrite it if you want, get used to it. If you're a very casual speaker, make it casual. I'm very, very casual with my clients, and not just in my t-shirt, but in my interactions too. And so I tend to make mine a lot more sort of plain and maybe a little less professional sounding, because I just think that's how I talk normally. but we really want you to make them your own. So the main thing I'm going to do is share those scripts with you, but again, to use as a starting point, as an outline. Quick question, if you guys could let me know, is there anyone who is on today, but that has not been shown where to go in My KW or in KW Connect to access all of the Ignite resources for yourself? Would anybody like to see where that is so that you can pull all of these things into your own computer?
Yeah, if you don't mind sharing that, Tabitha, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
great. Thank you.
Okay. And Courtney, I see that you're trying to share. We just can't hear you. If you want to type in the chat, you're unmuted, but we couldn't hear you if you were wanting to share with us. I think you raised your hand and said, yeah, I'd like to see that too.
Can you hear me now or no?
Yes, there you are. Yes.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so I was trying to find it last night, but I would like to see where it is.
Okay. So let's take a minute and let's jump out of the PowerPoint real quick. And then I will show you where to find that. Guys, you're going to go dizzy. I'm going to unshare and reshare and bounce around a little bit, but I think that's the best way to show you where to go for these things. All right. So, do you see a KW Connect home screen? Yes? Cool. Okay, thank you. So if you go to KW Connect, that's here. You can either type to get here, you can either type in kwconnect.com, or if you go into My KW and click on education at the very top, that'll bring you here. Personally, I usually go straight into KW Connect, and then I have a couple of different specific Connect pages that I keep saved up here that I go back and forth to a lot. For me, KW Connect is extremely valuable. There's a ton of stuff here about technology. So I use this tech-enabled agent site very often. Anytime I have a tech question, I look there first and then I contact our tech trainer. I also, though, use a lot of the classes that are in here, and every major class that KW offers is here. The fastest way to get to it is to use this magnifying glass, right? And I'll just type Ignite. Can you tell I use it a lot? It wants to autofill for me and search. It's like it knows when I'm talking to you guys. All right, let's try one more time.
It's been doing it all morning. Just give it a second. It will reload itself.
Really?
Yeah, it's been doing it to me. AW Command has been doing it all morning too.
Huh. I was in here this morning. All right. Thank you. Yeah, it's not even Tuesday. Is it Tuesday they do the updates? I can't remember all that. Let's try that. All right. Well, guys, an unanticipated fun little nugget there. Let's try this. Let's try this. So let's go to training. Just kidding. It's the same location, so it's not going to find it. Hey, there it is. So the way I got to it this time is instead of using the search box, I know this is a full-scale course, and what KW uses for the term for these large courses is Keller Williams University. So to get to this page, I just went to training and KWU. You would have gotten to this page very similarly had the search bar worked. The one that I want to search on is this one. So this one that you see here is the original 12 session Ignite. That one is good and it's a little outdated, right? So the one that we're using now is this one, Ignite 2.0 Labs. And then if you click right here, look at that. Never, ever, ever do this purchase course materials. They want you to buy stuff and print it and send it. Takes forever. It's fine. This is where you can find everything. So on the left-hand side are all of the participant guides. Then on the right-hand side under instructor files, if you ever wanted to, for some reason, you just wanted to like pull the PowerPoint back up, or we're going to watch a short video. If you wanted to rewatch that video, then over here is all of the instructor materials. And this is what I use to help to guide our conversation today. Two pieces that I don't know if everybody has had a chance to use yet. So we are not going to do a lot in the participant guide today. We're just going to use the PowerPoint, but if you have the participant guide, that's great. And we are going to use some stuff out of the toolkit, right? But the main thing that's probably here that you have not seen yet, if you are doing Ignite for the first time, is all the way, I think, down here.
Can everyone access the facilitator material?
I believe so. Does your screen not look like this?
Well, I don't have it pulled up right now, but
Oh, I see.
I was just, I didn't, you had to have certain permissions on your ID when you log in.
Yeah, no, I think everybody can access the facilitator material. Most of that is just teaching notes though. So the facilitator guide is really just the PowerPoint with the notes of what it wants me to talk about under each slide. But yes, I believe you can access everything there that you would like to. What I am looking for, and somebody help me if you see it, is script book. I know it's here because I downloaded it earlier. Well, I don't want to take your time searching back through something because I can't even see the whole screen because of Zoom. But what I'm looking for is the script book so that when you download it, you would have all the scripts that you would choose one during our practice today. Let's see if we can. Somebody look real close with me and see if you see something called script book. You can't see it if I'm flying through here.
Would it be under the toolkit?
It might be. I don't think so, but let's look. It is. Thank you. So it is. So if you download, thank you very much. If you download this Ignite Toolkit zip file, one of the items that's going to be there is going to be the script book. So the script book looks like, and I did this a few days ago. Thank you for helping me out. Looks like this. If you would take a minute or two while I bounce back over into the other side and go ahead and work to get that downloaded on your computer. If you're on your computer instead of your phone, I do suggest that you go ahead and download this, because what we're going to do, we're going to come back to this later when it's time to do a practice, and we're going to go through one of these scripts, right? So these are all here. And then the social media messaging direct message, you can see it's right here, as well as the guidelines for the low inventory script. Thank you. I did this a few days ago and I'm going, I have it saved, but I can't find it. So whoever recommended that I do the script book or the toolkit, thank you. All right. I am going to go back and we're going to do the PowerPoint and we'll get started. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns before we get rolling? Now that we're 15 minutes in, I always think we're going to not use up all the time, and then we always use up all the time. All right. Do you see the PowerPoint slide with the hands? You can just nod your head or wave or anything. Do you see my PowerPoint? Nobody said no, so I'm going to move forward. Okay, so as we look at this, I think it's important for us to talk about sort of our goals for the day and what do successful agents do every day, right? It's super important. What we see a lot of times is once you get a couple of deals, you end up living only on the right side here in the run business, right? Successful agents every business day, and hopefully they also take a day or two off, both grow business and run their business. And they'll use scripts to do all of these different things, right? They're going to lead generate for buyers and sellers, make seller listing presentations to gain new listings, buyer presentations to gain new buyers, and they'll preview, right? If you are a very seasoned agent, you might not still be previewing in person. That's really the only one that everyone's not doing all the time if they're in a successful real estate business. Over here on the right-hand side under run business is market listings, obviously. Show buyers, negotiate contracts, transaction to close, or contract to close. And then a couple other things that we'll talk a little bit about today that we don't talk about in every one of these sessions, which is vendor management, goal setting and goal tracking, compliance, training, coaching, and then managing their money. We're really not going to talk a lot today about goal setting and managing money. We are going to focus on those other items. Right? Here's the primary items that we're going to go through today. I would argue that we are talking just a little bit about vendor management because that is the script that I'd like us to spend our time on today. Yet we're really just going to talk about sort of how you can use vendors to add to your referral business. So where I'd like to start, and this is kind of the model that we're going to follow today, is what is the purpose of scripts and the benefit of using them? What's the best way to go about sort of making them really sound like your own? We are going to do just a little bit of practice, although instead of in partners, we're just going to work together as a group. We will recap and do ahas. And then usually at the end, like I said, what I'd like to do is find out who would like to be partnered with a peer for role play so that you can really take the time and practice these scripts one-on-one and saying them out loud in front of another person so that when you say them out loud, the other person for the first time is not a client and you're able to really speak them and make them yours and make them sound natural and genuine. Right? And of course, every Ignite ends with daily success habits in 10-4. Right? So. Okay, so in the big picture, scripts can help you do all of these things. I find myself using my own version of scripts a lot, not just in lead generation, but also in identifying objections, especially in listing presentations, right? Closing deals in terms of, you know, sort of having a preset script and set of things that I talk with everyone about when I'm making an offer, when I'm accepting an offer, speaking in terms that the customer understands. Scripts are super helpful in making sure that you're not overdoing it with the jargon, right? But that you're speaking in a way that they really get it and they think that you're speaking to them and not to a customer. And you can really, really help you build confidence. So often I see that people don't jump headfirst into the lead gen piece because they don't know what to say. And so if you have a comfort level with what to say, the likelihood of you making that call goes up greatly. So here are some ideas of some scripts, right? Did you find everything you were looking for? How often have you heard that in a store? Or can I help you? And you say, just looking? That's your script, right? They say, did you find everything you were looking for? And you say, I'm fine. And they say, okay, look around, let me know if I can help you, right? Or would this person be more benefited by saying, right? I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking for one for the big game this weekend? Right? Has anybody ever been in a store and sort of experienced these different success levels in terms of scripts that you hear just out in the world on a daily basis? Try to think back to when we bought things in a real store with real people, and have you interacted with salespeople or business professionals, and have you heard these different levels? I see some people nodding. That's okay. Everyone's real quiet today. I understand. Yes, you have. So the one at the top creates an intended response. Are you finding everything you're looking for? That creates an intended response. What's the intended response?
Yes or no?
Correct. Yeah, I'm fine. Or no, actually, can you help me with this? Most often I'm guessing the answer is I'm fine. Yep. Found what I'm looking for, right? Because it was easy because there's signs all over the store, right? Go ahead and look around and please let me know if I can help you, sort of level 2, right? What do you think is the intended response from script number 3?
More dialogue.
Yeah, start a conversation, right? The goal is not, I greeted them, my job's to greet them, so I greeted them, right? The goal is to create a common ground and start a conversation. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at scripts that have that similar opening, which is create common ground, start a conversation, so that we can get the intended outcome, which is to build rapport with people so that we can move them forward in their process, right? So let's do a real quick activity if you don't mind. So this is one that we actually would have done from the participant guide. So I'm gonna make your head spin a little bit. I'm gonna stop share, reshare, all that good stuff, and take you over to a quick activity. I think this is the only thing we're gonna use this participant guide for, but it's perfectly fine and available. If you already downloaded it, you can just bounce over to it. If not, I went ahead and had it pulled up here. If you're in your own version, it's page 4, right? We are gonna take not a full 5 minutes, probably 2-3 minutes, and write down a couple limiting beliefs. Feels kind of funny to start with a negative, but we're going to because we know they exist and we don't want to pretend they don't, right? Write down 1 or 2 limiting beliefs that have held you back when you're making calls. And making calls could also mean initiating text conversations, could also mean initiating direct one-to-one conversations inside a social media platform, right? So replace making calls with whatever way you reach out to people one-to-one, right? So jot it down. If you feel comfortable and you think that your limiting belief or your concern or your worry, whatever you want to call it, might be something other people share, then I'd love if you would pop it into the chat as well. Right? What holds you back when you're reaching out to people? This is the part of the classes where I always feel like I need the Jeopardy music, like on Final Jeopardy. For anyone who's old enough to have ever watched Jeopardy on old-fashioned TV. Oh, thank you. Someone put one in the chat. Let's see. Okay.
I'll just say what my limiting beliefs are, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I don't feel like typing.
Thank you. Thank you for being on camera and talking. I love it.
I'll at least talk. Somebody had said not sure what to say. I also have that problem. Like, what kind of value can I bring to the conversation? Because I get tired of, and I know that they taught us like the Ford conversation, family, what is it? Family, I forget what it all stands for, but anyway.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Family, occupation.
There you go.
Relationships and dreams. And we'll have that on our scripts later.
Yeah. So, but I always I'm unsure of what I can talk about. If I know what I would want to talk about, like, oh, interest rates are really low. Well, how low are they? I don't know. So that's one of my biggest things, bothering somebody, interrupting their day, even though, 9 to 11 is supposed to be the best time to make your calls. And then rejection. Nobody wants to be rejected, stop calling me. So that's mine.
Okay, perfect. So I see that a couple of those are repeated here in the chat. Not sure what to say. Fear of rejection. I see that one as well. Here's a good one that you didn't mention, but that I know that I have heard before. People don't like getting cold calls. And this is on their own time. I don't know if there's a time when it's their time or your time, but that makes sense. I understand. And then not sure who to call. Okay. So what the book asks us to do, and what I think is really valuable, and this is another case of sort of, I think, the evolution of our training and our resources. So what we used to do is we used to say, take that negative and make it a positive. They're home, they're happy, they're home. I forget what it was. They're home, there's something, they're happy to hear from me. And we would say, repeat that. They're home, there's something, they're happy to hear from me. And I, as nice as that is for a pump up, what I think is really great about this new version of Ignite in this lab is we're not just saying, pretend like that's not negative, make it positive. What we've said instead is, if you look here on the screen, for each limiting belief listed in A, record a way that you have a plan to or could plan to remove that limiting belief. So for example, and I'll ask you, if the concern is, and this is an easy one, the concern is I don't know what to say, what is a plan that you could have to thoughtfully remove that limiting belief?
Have a couple of scripts that you're comfortable with that you could use.
Right. That's absolutely what the answer I was looking for. Absolutely. So if you don't know what to say, and Deidre, to your example, if you're going to open up a conversation about interest rates, it's going to be very important that you are aware of historical interest rates, current interest rates, and how that might actually affect that person to some degree, right? And so in that example, that plan might be, you know what, I want to have a conversation with people about interest rates, which is a valuable conversation for all. I'm going to argue that that's a valuable conversation for every single person who owns or has an interest in owning a home. Because what you could find out is, you know, historically, sort of based on when they bought the home with you, what might be their approximate rate. Or even if you don't know that, you could say, do you happen to know what your interest rate is on your mortgage? And most of the time, you know what they'll say? I have no idea. Or you could say, for people who purchased homes between this year and this year, they have a huge opportunity to save money by refinancing. Out of curiosity, is refinancing something I could maybe refer you to help you save some money? Or do you think you might sell your home in the next couple of years and therefore that really doesn't make sense? Right. And so you could, what are some ways that you could get those interest rate numbers?
Google.
Okay, absolutely.
Have a
How else?
relationship with a lender and talk to
There
the
you go.
lender. Yeah, first thing in the
Absolutely.
morning, like 8:30 to 9 o'clock, have your vendor calls, get that lined up, and then you know what to talk about.
Absolutely. So your plan could be, I'm going to start making calls on Monday that are around interest rates. And so today I'm going to reach out to 2 lenders and I'm going to ask them to send me 3 bullet points.
Can I ask Deidre a quick question?
Mhm.
You referenced having your vendor calls. What are you meaning by that?
Lenders that you've already dealt with. So if you've already closed a couple of transactions and you have a good relationship with the lender, then follow up with that lender and just keep, I guess, maybe keep that lender in your back pocket, you know, keep building that relationship so that you have a good back and forth.
So do you call your vendors on a regular basis, not just when you need them with a client?
You should. Yeah. I mean, it's something that I definitely need to start doing, but yeah, I stay in contact with at least one that has helped me on quite a few transactions. We email back and forth, go to lunch, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And that's not part of this session, but I agree completely. And we will talk when we get to the scripts. That's actually the script that I'd love for us to practice because I think it's the one that is utilized the least often and has the most value for us on a daily basis. And it's one of the easiest ones to start with. If you're uncomfortable with scripts, that's a great one to start with. So that is the script that we'll use. And I think that every realtor that works with buyers should have 3 direct lender contacts that are saved in your phone with their picture, their phone number, their email, and their company that you could quick share with anybody at any time. I think you should have a direct contact that you feel comfortable with at Keller Mortgage. I think you should also have a real estate broker, like a person who works with multiple banks and has access to lots of different products. And I think you should also have a direct bank lender, like a PNC, Huntington, Fifth Third, one of those guys. And I think it is helpful if you are in an area that has a high percentage of people who use credit unions. So in rural areas, those are a lot more popular than maybe they are here in Columbus. But if you're in an area like that, then I think you should also know of a great credit union that you can refer as well if they have a mortgage division. The idea with this is awareness, right? Why am I not doing what I know I probably should be, which is reaching out to people, growing my database, and then deepening the relationships with those who are in my database? What's stopping me from that? And then being very specific about how you can knock those obstacles out of the way and move forward, right? And just like any other goal, have a plan, be specific, write it down, right? If you're going to do something, how and by when. And the by when is the piece that we miss most often. We make a lot of lists of what, then the next step is how, and then the third step is by when. Okay. So let's knock out one more before we move on out of this area, and let's write down, pick a limiting belief you listed in part A from above and record it below. I think the other one that I'd like to address, because it is the one that I hear most often, is people don't want to hear from me. I hate getting cold calls, therefore they must also hate getting cold calls. Right? Do me a favor, and I'm going to see as many of you as I can. Raise your hand or type yes in the chat if you're not on camera, if you have ever felt that way when you were making calls or doing direct messaging. They don't want to hear from me. What do I have to say that they need to hear? Right?
I didn't necessarily think
You
they
know.
didn't want to hear from me because I think everybody wants to hear from me.
Now you think everybody wants to hear from you? You don't have that one? Okay.
I'm
for
more
you.
so, I don't like
We
cold
should all be
calls.
so lucky.
I just don't like cold calls, so I hate when they call me. But
Okay.
I can say when I did the cold calls, my thing is procrastination. It was just me starting the list. So I just divvied it up by areas, and I started with my area first because I know everything that's going on in my area. So if they tried to end the call, I was like, hey, do you know about the commission? The commission, if you find out what's going on over there, you can do this, that, and the other. So I just find out in every neighborhood what they got going on, and every time they try to end the call, I give them some more information. So they don't think I'm just trying to either buy their house, sell their house, but here's some information that you can use.
Well, and I think that you hit on something really important. So 2 things. Number 1, if you hate cold calls, don't make cold calls. You didn't think I was going to say that, did you? If you hate cold calls, don't make cold calls. I'll tell you, they have the highest rejection rate, the lowest conversion. If you don't like it, it'll just sap your energy. If you don't want to be doing it, don't do that, right? Instead, make a plan of how you're going to make warm calls. If you're concerned about calling people at the right time, what could you do to interact with them to not feel like you are limited by reaching them at the wrong time? All right. Could you have a quick, easy text message that you could copy and paste to people that says, hey, I had some exciting news I wanted to share with you, or hey, I had some interesting news I wanted to share with you, when would be a good time for me to reach out to you on the phone for like 5 minutes? What's really funny is a lot of times most people are like, ooh, what? We can talk now if you need to.
Mhm.
The answer is usually right now. But if it's not, they'll tell you, right? The point is just figure out what's stopping you and make a very specific plan to move forward. This feels like a good time to do a quick reminder, because we used the term cold calls, to make sure that you are very, very careful of who you're calling, right? This is why I like using Command and tracking things in Command, because you have all the history there. Or if you have Top Producer, that's great. If you have Sync, that's great. Whatever you use, keep track when you reach out to people, so that if they say, I'm picking up my kid right now, I gotta go. When are you not gonna reach out to that person, right? In that hour window where they pick up their child every day, right? Or they say they're a morning person, or they say they hate getting up early. You can make that type of note in there, and you can see that every time that you reach back out to them. So you could have a tag for morning people, midday people, and night people. And then if you're going to make calls in the morning, you go ahead and you sort your contacts for the tag morning people. Because this week I'm making my calls from 8 to 9:30 instead of 9 to 11. And so I need to talk to the morning people, right? Really use that to your advantage. But make the plan and get ready to make the calls. And we're going to focus pretty much all the rest of the time on the not knowing what to say. Anybody else have one that's important to them that we talk about before we move forward? Thank you guys very much for participating, by the way. All right. So let's pop back in to the slideshow. All right, are we back in the slideshow for you? Thank you. Okay, so we're talking about the benefits of using scripts, which we know. No, we can skip this one. Do you think it's important that you use scripts, or that you have a good feel for what you're going to say in a plan? Yeah. All right, so I think we understand the benefits of using scripts. And now we are going to talk about a little bit about how to use them. And I am going to share a short video. If for some reason you cannot hear the sound, raise your hand and I'll restart it, but I think it should work just fine. Just kidding.
Hi, I'm Jeff Glover, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that you need to know about using scripts. Step 1, you're going to need to get your scripts from a top agent in the office, your team leader, a MAPS coach, or of course, Keller Williams University. Step 2, we're going to need to do a total transformation of, instead of talking and telling, of asking questions. Selling isn't telling, selling is asking a series of questions that leads to desired response. So instead of talking so much, we need to get in the habit of asking questions. And asking questions gives us control of the conversation. Control of the conversation gives us our ultimate outcome, which is an appointment set or a closing. Step 3, we need to listen with good intentions. Well, what I mean by that is we need to listen to their answers instead of just listening to them talk and asking another question that comes to mind. For example, instead of asking a seller where they're moving to and then going on to the next question, how soon would you like to be there? Ask them, where are you moving to? And when they give you a response, ask them, what takes you there? Step 4 in becoming better at scripts is we need to learn to mimic, mirror, and match the prospect. What I mean by that is we have to listen to their tone of voice. We have to speed up or slow down based on how fast the prospect is talking. That means when they respond and say, we're moving to Toledo. Oh, Toledo, that's exciting. What takes you there? 93% of communication is body language and tonality. And that means only 7% are the words that we say or the questions that we ask. Step 5, we need to take these 5 points and practice them daily. If you think of NFL teams, they practice 50, 60 hours on the practice field for a 1-hour game. Our game is our presentations and our appointments, and we need to practice daily everything that we've learned every single day before we meet with our clients. When it comes to scripts, my biggest aha is that everybody has their own scripts. We're pre-programmed to have scripts, and we're talking and asking questions that are scripted. However, what we found is that most of our own scripts are no good. And so we have to learn the right scripts, the right questions to maintain control of the conversation. Thanks for watching KW Connect. Make it a great day.
That's a new class with a very old video. Jeff does not look like that anymore, but that's okay. He made a nice video, and his his message still, I think, very much applies, which, except for the part where he said most of our scripts aren't any good. I'm like, oh, come on, maybe they're really good, right? The idea, though, is that you would, be willing to sort of question your personal scripts. Let me ask it this. Well, I don't want to set you up. If we were in class, I'd say, how many people already use scripts? And very few people would raise their hand, right? And I would say, how do you respond when someone says, may I help you? What do you say?
No, thank you.
When they say, may I help you, you say, no, thank you. Every time?
No, not every
Oh.
time. If I actually need help, I would tell them.
Right. Okay. What do we say when someone says, hey, nice to see you again. How are you?
Great.
Great. Should say.
It opens up some type of conversation.
Okay. Does that usually open up a good conversation for you?
Start telling you how they are.
Mm-hmm. Do most people open up in detail and tell you how they are when you say, how are you?
No,
No?
it's usually
How do most people respond when you say, how are you?
good. How are you?
They say good, or they say fine, right? Good.
Fine.
You. Oh, I'm fine. How are you? And you go,
I'm good. How are you? Yeah.
right. It just kind of it volleys at that level, right? So we do have scripts in our day-to-day life. We just don't think of them that way because nobody wrote it down and told us to say that. Yet we have scripted interactions with people all the time. I have gotten cold calls, absolutely, and I have made cold calls. And then most of the time they start talking. The most frequent cold calls that I get are people trying to sell me timeshares. I don't know if you guys get timeshare cold calls a lot. I see a couple people like, oh yeah. And my script response to their script is, I'm not interested, right? If you do make cold calls, how often have you heard, I'm not interested? Hi, this is Tabitha. I'm calling from Keller Williams Excel Realty. I'm not interested. I go, in what? Like, what are you doing? I didn't say anything yet. I'll just tell you who I am in whatever you're selling. I'm actually not selling anything, but listen, if it's a bad time, that's no problem. Yes, it is. Okay, no problem at all. I was just actually going to share with you some information about your current neighborhood. But if it's a bad time, that's fine. Would you rather I just send you an email? Right? I'm not just going to just keep rolling, right? But we do use scripts all the time. And so if we can use them in a way that helps us to be able to move our business forward, why wouldn't we go ahead and do that? All right, guys, give me 2 seconds while I skip forward in my packet here that I haven't been looking at. All right. So before we just start reading and practicing, I think it's important that we know that it's not, just sort of a quick step thing. We don't read it once, put it on a shelf and go, I hope I remember that. We also probably don't want to read through it once and then pick up the phone and start reading it off of the paper and calling potential clients. Right? Instead, what we want to do is follow like a really specific process that we can use to make sure that once we say these words with a potential client or with a potential business partner, that they sound like us, right? The recommended steps are here. And if this sounds like it would take forever and that it's a really thorough process, that's because it does and it is. but changing the way you interact with people won't happen quickly or with saying something one time, right? Unless you're like an amazing actor or actress, which I am not. So instead, I just have to say things over and over and over and over and over again and practice a lot, right? So first step, read the script out loud 5 times. You will feel very, very silly talking to yourself out loud over and over and over again. If you need to do this in your car, if you need to go out on your back porch, if you need to close the door and the only room in your house that's quiet is the closet, that's what you do. But just speaking those words kind of gets you through and really is going to show you the pieces and parts that kind of that hold you up a little bit, right? The same sentence 5 times while smiling. Now we're on Zoom, so I can ask you if you think I'm smiling or not, and you can see. If we were on the phone, you wouldn't be able to tell. However, have you ever talked to somebody on the phone and they were saying the words and you kind of stopped them and you said, "Are you okay?" Has that ever happened? Right? Because we can hear, I do think you can hear if someone is smiling. I think you can hear if someone is reading. I think you can hear if someone believes the words that they're saying. And sometimes it takes saying them a bunch of times, even if you think you intellectually believe them, for it to sound like you do, for it to sound like you are the one saying it from yourself, right? If you're really, really good, then after all of that, you've said it 5 times out loud by reading, 5 times while smiling, the first line, then the second line, et cetera, et cetera. Now you're going to speak it from memory another 10 times, and then speaking it 1 sentence at a time. And then the last one says the entire script as fast as you can, 5 times in a row. If we were in a room, we'd have a little bit of fun and we'd try to all say it together as fast as we can and do some of those things. With your permission, I'm not going to ask everyone to unmute and say these scripts 5 times as fast as you can. Is that okay with you guys? Right. I fully understand, and don't tell your other instructors, but I don't know that everyone does all of these steps. And I'm okay with that. The point that I want to make sure that we make is it's not, what happens sometimes is people take a script, they read it, they say it 1 or 2 times, and then they call 1 or 2 people. And the 1 or 2 people that they call go, "What are you doing?" Is this one of those work things? Like, what do you read? What are you doing? Have you guys ever made a call like that? Anybody who's ever taken the old Bold has made a call like that, because Bold goes, "Read this." Okay, we're locking the doors. Say that to somebody. And you're like, "But hello, I am in a contest. I would like to know, who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?" And the person goes, "What are you doing? You just talk to me." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I was supposed to say those words." And they go, "What do you need?" And I go, "I need a name." They go, "What do you mean?" I go, "Anybody that has said a word that has to do with house, home, buy, sell, invest." I don't even care if they said rent. I just need a name. Who do you know? That became my script, right? And now my script for that same call says, "Hey, it's Tabitha. Hey, how are you?" "Good." "Oh, good. Hey, how are you doing with school? Your kids back to school yet?" "No, but I hope they will soon." "Oh, from your mouth to God's ears." "And everybody healthy though? Everybody safe?" "Yes." "Hey, listen, fair warning. I got a favor to ask of you." And they go, "Oh, what do you need?" "Anything." Right? "I need a name. I just closed yesterday." And, there's this saying in real estate, and they go, "Closing day is the best day ever. The day after closing day is the worst day ever. You know why?" And they go, "Why?" I go, "Because I need another client. I'm done. I'm done working for those people. I did my job. They're happy in their new house. And now I need a new person to make happy. Who do you know?" Because I like helping people that I can talk to the way I can talk to you. do you have any friends, anybody from church, anybody, you know, from the, you know, from your family that you think is going to be ready in the spring? Because if they could get ready sooner, we could probably get them a big chunk of money for their house. What do you think? Who do you know? And that became my script, right? But it took me digging through this one for a while, and I did have it written out, right? So let's go to the script book, and let's talk about a script that we're going to practice, and we're going to go through some of these steps on, right? So here is the table of contents of the script book. If you haven't had a chance to download it for yourself yet, that's okay. We'll have it here pulled up so that we can practice a little bit. If you have a lot of trouble getting that and you're not able to get it downloaded, I will put my email and my phone number in the chat at the end, and you can let me know, and I'll make sure that we get this to you in a way that you can print it out or have it downloaded on your computer, right? So as we look at these scripts, there's quite a few different ones that we could choose from to practice. And we are a democratic nation, and we're a democratic Ignite class, and I'll take a vote if you'd like. Or if you want to just kind of speak up and let me know which one of these you think you would actually use, then I'd like to practice that script with you guys today. Instead of me choosing, I want you guys to choose.
What is the 10++ script?
Where are you at?
Oh, on the table of contents.
Mm-hmm.
It's delivering a 10++ experience. Oh, that's the listing presentation. Never mind. I'm sorry. Well, I guess that would still be a script, right?
Are you on your own? I just don't see 10++ on here.
Do you see scripts for working with sellers on the table of contents?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm in the table of contents of the Ignite Spark script book, which is this one.
Oh, I'm in Elementals. I downloaded the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I think, and that's why I was like, maybe I was blind again, like when I couldn't find the script book in the system. So what we wanted to use today is the Spark. So what you're talking about is a really, really good one. And that scripts for actually once you have a client.
Right.
Are super valuable. I think the ones that we wanted to choose from for Spark were lead gen and database, adding to your database. So if you want to look just at the screen that I'm sharing, can you guys see the table of contents that I'm sharing on the screen, or can
We
you
still see your slideshow.
Okay.
Yep, refresh.
No wonder you weren't, no wonder no one was picking one. Thank you for letting me know.
That's better.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. I'm going, boy, nobody wants to pick a script, and I wonder why they're not choosing one. You couldn't see it, so thank you for letting me know. This still looks the same as it did before, but thank you, Zoom. Okay, so from these, thank you. I was thinking that we would do calling personal and professional service industries. However, if we have a lot of brand new folks, or if we have a lot of transfer folks, then we can do the new to real estate or new to Keller Williams. Or we could do, everybody could do remind them you're in real estate. Guys, let me know which one you would like to do. Or you can put your recommendation in the chat.
New to Keller?
Okay. If I vote for new to Keller.
Another vote for new to Keller.
Okay. Anybody who wants to do something other than new to Keller, speak now. Or
I
for
have a question. Would that work well too with new to Columbus Market?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll vote for that.
Yeah. So the great thing about the new to real estate, new to Keller Williams, is even in the remind you you're in real estate, the first maybe couple sentences are different, and then all the rest is the same, right? So let's do that. Let's go to new to Keller Williams, page 5. Don't look, I'm gonna fly through it. Here we go. So if you look at this and you feel like it looks really, really long, it is a little lengthy. And like I said before, I feel like use the bullet points of this and the understanding of it to make it your own, right? So here's how this one starts. All right, let's pick a name. We're gonna go Erica. I'm calling you. All right. Hey, this is Tabitha. Do you have a moment?
Sure.
Thank you. Hey, how have you been?
Oh, pretty good.
Good deal. Hey, how's the family?
Oh, you know, we're hanging in there, kind of recovering from the holidays.
Yeah. Just recovering from the holidays, right? Not recovering from anything else. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's safe.
Yes, we're all doing well.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Hey, listen, you got to be careful when you say recovering. Everybody's going to want
Yeah, that's true.
differently now than we used to, don't we?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Good deal. And did you guys get a chance to do that ski trip you usually do every year? Or are we sitting that one out this year for COVID?
No, unfortunately, we didn't do that this year.
I understand. Well, I think we'd all love to get back to normal, right?
Yeah, that's an understatement for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, the world's a little bit crazy, and I made a change. I was actually calling to share some exciting news with you. I moved my real estate business to Keller Williams.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I just wanted to let you know, just because my company name has changed, that service level I offer to my clients has not, right? They'll continue to get all my enthusiasm, all my hard work. And as you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help my people. All right. Hey, can I count on you to help me grow my business over here?
Oh, sure, of course.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't expect you to go out and find clients for me. What I was thinking was, I have this great app. It works kind of like Realtor.com or Zillow, but it's just really easy for you to see what's for sale, maybe what the price is of something on your street, info about your neighborhood, but it also works anywhere in the country and even in Canada. If I send you a quick text with the link, is that something you'd like to have on your phone? It's a free download.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds
Okay. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you can get some use out of it. A lot of the calls I get are people wanting to know the price of houses in their neighborhood, and this just tells you automatically. So it's kind of nice. Right?
Oh, nice.
Hey, speaking of your neighborhood, I also have a new feature where I can just have an email sent to you. It's not a lot. It's like once a month. And then you can choose to add other neighborhoods if you ever want to know about those too. All I need is your current mailing address and your email, and I can turn that on. Do you mind if I share that? If I share that with you and I can just get those pieces of info that I need?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, cool. What's your address? What's your email, right? The main thing for me is, I want to grow my business, but I want to grow it with people, that I know, or, people that they know, right? Do you happen to know anybody from your work, your neighborhood, or any kind of groups or clubs you belong to that's thinking of buying, selling a house, or investing in real estate?
Yeah, actually, my sister-in-law is talking about buying her first home.
And then say, I'll tell her about you.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell her about you.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. I'd really like to be a resource for her. If you'd like, so that I don't have to put it on you, could you just share her info with me, and then I'll take care of reaching out, and that way you don't have to.
Sure. Yeah, I could probably do that.
Okay. Say I have to ask her if that's okay.
But
on me, Erica, you're too easy.
Sorry.
These calls are never this easy. All right.
I know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do you mind if I just check with her, make sure she hasn't selected someone else and that she's okay with me providing your information?
Oh, that makes sense. No, just to make sure that you're comfortable with it. I think you know me and you know that I'm not like some hardcore salesperson. What I wanted to just see is just to get a feel for how I might be able to help her, similar to the way I help everybody. But if she tells me she has an agent, you have my 100% agreement that I won't bother. You can't see my hands, but that I'm making air quotes. I won't bother her, right? If you'd like, do you want to put us like on a group text or something?
Sure. I could do group text.
Okay, awesome. Hey, thank you. What was her name again?
Her name is Amanda.
Okay, cool. That way I can save her so when she replies, I know who it is.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And if you know of anybody else that you hear of that has a real estate need, would you keep me in mind?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I really appreciate your help. Listen, if there's ever anything I can do for you, I hope that you'll let me know.
I sure will. Thanks for giving me a call.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for answering. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Well, let me just say this way. What do you think? What do you guys think?
I thought that was really good. It gave me some good ideas and made me feel like, oh yeah, I could say that.
Okay. What part of the script made you feel that way?
I liked the tip about, even though I've moved my real estate business, you're still going to get the same level of enthusiasm and hard work. And because sometimes we just assume people know that, but I think it's good to, put it out there and let them know. We realize they might be thinking, oh, why did they change companies? Did they get fired from the other company? Or I don't know, just something I was thinking about. But so it might be good to just let them know, I've just changed for my own personal growth or whatever. But
yeah, absolutely. And I think this is one of those times too, where I would say, if that was something that I had a concern about, like I had just moved, or let's say KW is your second or third brokerage that you've ever had, I think it would help to let people know, hey, I moved there because, right? And your because could be because I have access to all of this extra stuff that's better for you, right? I moved here because I now have my own app. I can share it with you if you'd like, where any of my friends, my family, or my clients that I've worked with in the past, they can see everything that's for sale. It has a near me feature. It's actually more updated than the realtor.com or Zillow. But because it's my app, you know that it's not going to be filled with ads, and then it's not going to send your information. If you just want to know a little something about a house, you're not going to have 3 or 4 other realtors you've never heard of calling you because of that. And so, I like, especially for new to Keller Williams, or if you're new to real estate, you could say, and I'm at KW because I get all this cool stuff that you can now use that I thought you would enjoy, right? And so if anything that you can do in this script, and I saw a comment that somebody said in the chat, thank you, Janae, that it felt conversational. It didn't feel pushy. I don't think it feels pushy at all, because what makes things feel pushy is too many statements and not enough questions. You don't always realize that in the moment. You just go, that didn't feel good. Any conversation, if you think back to conversations that made you feel good, think about how many statements the other person used versus how many questions the other person asked. And that's how these scripts are designed. To max 3 statements, question. Sometimes I'll even pause inside the paragraph because I can tell that somebody wants to jump in. I'll let them obviously jump in, right? That's what keeps it from sounding like a script. That's the part that keeps it from feeling a little pushy, is the questions. do you think that you could use a script like this or this script? Oh, I want to make sure I honor the chat here too. Okay. Okay, yep, objection to use a group text to find out when's a good time to talk. Just be ready if you send 5 of those, that if somebody goes, why, what's up? That you can respond back again. Like, don't shoot off 100 of those and then freak people out, right? Because I'm serious, be like, who died? Does anybody really not have a lot of people in their database that don't talk on the phone very much? Or does everybody talk voice on the phone with everyone that they know?
I do utilize texting a lot.
You do texting a lot? Anybody else? I do.
Yep.
There are people, yeah. There are people in my database, and I used to think it was age specific, and we used to assign labels to it, and I was like, that's silly. There's people of all ages that talk voice on the phone, and people who would much prefer text message. So there's literally in this, I always joke around. I say, is there anybody in your database that if you said, hey, can I when's a good time to give you a call? They'd be like, who died? A couple of you laugh, like, you're right. If somebody that you haven't heard from in a long time said, can I call you? Why? What's wrong? Right? Oh, no, nothing's wrong. Right? Good. Yes. Nothing's wrong. I actually had some kind of cool news to share with you, but was hoping to chat. Right? That's fine. However, if you do need to break this up into some text messages, I think the most important thing you can do is try for a call first. It's easy to tell people something on text or email. It's very, very difficult to ask something of people by text or email. Does that make sense? And so to keep in mind the goal is to have a positive interaction with the stated outcome. The stated outcome in this case is to get a referral. Right? You can use this script as often as you'd like. However, I don't recommend that you say all of this to the same person more than twice a year, right? The only way to know who you have had this exact conversation with in a way that is sustainable over time is to keep track, right? So I defer to command because I like it, and it's included in our monthly office dues to keep track, and to jot down some notes after you've talked to them, right? So that you know that you have had this conversation, or you know that you didn't get to have the conversation. You tried, you reached out, they didn't answer, and you know you can come back to this next week or even tomorrow, right? Who is feeling brave? Who's feeling brave and has the microphone? Oh,
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I maybe should know this, but I don't. We keep our contacts and all of those notes and stuff in Command, not Brevity.
If you are on a team, check with your team.
Okay.
On what system they use. I believe your team uses Brevity, which if it doesn't talk to command yet, it will soon, kind of a thing. So if you're on a team, check with them to see where they recommend that you keep the tags and the contacts and all that good stuff.
Okay, so they kind of do the both.
Agents. Yeah, Brevity is kind of expensive. So if you have that through your team, that's awesome. I think most individual agents are relying on command. Mm-hmm. All right. That's okay. You don't have to be brave. I'm not going to do the bad instructor thing and call somebody. I'll call somebody out to be on the other side when I do the script. I won't call you out for you to do the script if you don't feel comfortable. But if you are, raise your hand, your digital hand or your physical hand. and unmute, and we'll do one more.
I'll do it back to you if someone doesn't.
Awesome. Yay, a brave student. I love it. Do you want to do the same one or a different one?
I'd rather do the same one because
Are you new to Keller Williams or are you new to real estate?
I'm new to Keller Williams.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't know that answer.
Oh, you're okay.
All right.
All right, let me pull it up.
And I am not going to read along with you because your client won't be reading along with you.
Sure.
I'm going to leave it up in case you have to read from this screen. All right.
Okay. Okay, that helps.
Okay.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, is this Tabitha?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Tabitha, do you have a moment?
Sure. Who's this?
This is Erica with Keller. Sorry, can I do that again? That
Sure.
seems
So
weird.
the I think the script is usually meant to be used with people that you know.
Yeah, that's what.
It looks small, but it starts with "This is Erica," and I think that helps because you've introduced yourself.
Okay.
And I go, I know that. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
All right.
Being brave.
Okay.
Okay.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Tabitha, it's Erica. Do you have a moment?
Oh, hey. Yeah, sure.
Hey, how you been?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It'll be
Good.
nice if we can actually get out of the house a little more often.
I know. That's good. Well, how are you and the family holding up?
Oh, we're fine. Thank you. Yeah, all healthy, we've been very fortunate.
Oh, good, good. Are you still working from home, or are you back to work in the office?
I usually go into work, but today I'm actually I'm working from home and being an elementary school teacher in between my meetings. I now am reinforced in my decision not to go into teaching as a professional for kids.
I hear that a lot, but I mean, good. I mean, I know it's quite a bit to take on. Are you still enjoying baking? Are you still doing a lot of that?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm gonna have to figure out how to bake diet cookies here pretty soon if I keep it up.
Well, if you find a good recipe, let me know because I could sure use a good recipe.
I will do.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just wanted to share some exciting news with you. I've moved my real estate business over to Keller Williams Realty, and yeah.
Where were you at before?
I was with Crane and Pearl Realty before making the switch. Yeah.
Okay.
And just because my company's changed, my level of service that I offer hasn't, and my enthusiasm, as you know, and my hard work will still be there and ready to work for my new clients.
Good.
Yeah, so I'll do whatever it takes to help people. Can I count on you to grow my business?
I mean, sure, but I don't really know how I can do that.
Well, honestly, it's just people that you happen to run into, family, anyone that you might think is ready to buy or sell real estate in the next couple of months. I'd love to be a helping hand to them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
I also have, with my new brokerage, a real estate app. It's really easy. I'd love to provide it to you for you to kind of check out and play around with, but it helps show around like your neighborhood and the price of your home, kind of like Zillow or realtor.com, but it's a little more personalized and you won't get ads and other agents calling you, but you get the information.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. I will get that sent over to you.
Okay.
And sorry,
That's okay. can stop there if you want.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, it goes on and just asks about the neighborhood nurture. And so what we want to do is get to the place where you say, yeah, hey, speaking of thinking of people, you know, it is to get to the, do you know anyone? Right? Because you did lay the groundwork for it, which was really, really good. And I did throw you a curveball, so I apologize, and I did make sure you did say you were brave. You handled it with grace. Was when you said, "May I count on you to help me grow my business?" And that is a very common response that I have heard when I have used that script. Is, I mean, sure, but what do you mean?
Yeah.
Or I would be happy to help you grow your business. I don't know that I really know how to do that. And you handled that very, very well. To say, oh no, I just wanted to share some really helpful tools with you. And then if you have a referral for me, I'd love you to keep me in mind. That would be a great place, like you did, to just sort of mention it and then move forward with the rest of the script, add value, and then ask for it at the end, right? So you're very, very smart that you didn't say, well, you could send me, you know, the best way to grow my business would be from referrals. Actually, who do you know? And skip the value. And we have a tendency to do that of, oh, they said how? Referrals. Speaking of referrals, do you know anyone?
Yeah.
And we didn't get there. Does that make sense?
It does.
So don't start the conversation just because they seem like they're already there. If they were already there, they'd go, you would have said referrals, and they would have said, oh, like my brother, he's ready to go right now. He just got pre-approved. Like that doesn't happen. Right? So don't skip the value, right? There is intrinsic value in the conversation as a whole. Let me share this app with you. And then that way, if you ever want to know something for sale, blah, blah, blah. I also have an email that can push to you, not often, maybe once a month, that tells you about your neighborhood and how things are doing. That's the most common question I get from people. How are things going in my own neighborhood? Because they own in their neighborhood. They want to know they made a good investment, right? So you didn't skip the value, which I really appreciated. And I'm sure if we had gone through the whole thing that you would have come to the end, which is, I'm building my business on people I know and that I've done a great job for, and then those that they can refer to me. Do you know of anyone? And if you guys have done Bold before, if you've had other scripting, we used to say, who do you know? Right? So this is a little different. It says, do you know of anyone? The reason that changed is because that's more common to the way that we speak. Do you know of anyone? When we say, who do you know? And they go, nobody, we used to go, really? Gosh, everybody I talk to knows someone. No, that's not genuine, right? We want this to be genuine. Do you know of anyone from your work, your neighborhood, or group you belong to who's thinking of buying, selling a home, or investing in real estate? I'd be pleased, and I would change that because I wouldn't say that. I'd love to be a resource for them. I'd be happy to be a resource for them, right? If they have a name, and this is why I asked you to give me that objection. A lot of times they go, actually, if they have a name, they go, actually, I was just thinking, we were just talking about that the other day. And I go, oh, great, I'd love to reach out to them. And they go, well, let me check. Let me make sure they don't already have a realtor. Have you guys ever had that happen? Let me see. And I go, oh, no, I get it. Hey, you know me, I'm not going to bother them, right? What I have, I just don't want to put I just want to put this on you, that you feel like you have to do a bunch of extra work just to help me out. How about this? You want to put us on a group text? And then that way if they go, I've already got it, then I know, all is well. But if they are happy to get the referral, then you've already put us in touch with one another and you don't have to make 3 phone calls. Right? So that's my favorite one for that. Or if they do really hold tight to, I really want to talk with them first and say, well, you're already making an extra call for me. I don't want you to have to make 2. When do you want me to just check back in with you to see if that was okay and get their info? So I'm not going to wait for them to call me back. I'm going to say, why don't I give you a day or two to check out with them? I've already asked you to make one extra call. I'm not going to ask you to make two. I'll check back with you, on Saturday or whatever. The most important thing is to put the ownership on you and to set the expectation for follow-up and then do it. And that's what these scripts are meant to do. Would you mind sharing their name and phone number or an email so I can contact them? Right. I do also want to share with you guys before I let you go or answer questions, one more script set that's in here because somebody brought this up earlier today and I was like, wow, that person is a mind reader. Reaching out to vendor partners daily. If you're newer to real estate or new to Keller Williams and you guys didn't do this at your previous company, daily is a good plan. If you've been in the business for a while, you might not need to do it daily. You could probably just do it once a month, right? But either way, as an agent, I found this conversation to be extremely valuable. When I was a full-time agent, we didn't have COVID, so I actually would go physically to businesses. With COVID, you can't physically go to as many businesses. However, there are still plenty that are open and operating. Wear your mask and your smile underneath. If you can't, then the phone calls are great because you're talking to them business owner to business owner, right? And you can make these calls during the day, during the week, or depending on the type of business, you can make them in the afternoon. You can also make these calls to certain businesses if you're a morning person very early in the morning, which appealed to me because that's my focus time. So creating referral partnerships with business owners you have not done business with. I find a lot of value in this script and in the follow-up associated with it because a lot of clients find a lot of value in realtors who know everybody and have a resource for everything, right? If you want to start with mortgage related or home renovation related businesses or home improvement or decorating, you can start there, but don't end there, right? So this one even has an example of a dentist. If people are moving to the area, even if they're just moving across town, like I moved from Johnstown to Delaware. I might as well have moved from Florida like I did 8 years ago because I had to change everything. I have to have a new grocery store, a new pharmacy, a new doctor, a new dentist, a new all those things. I'm not gonna drive 45 minutes to it, right? So this is great. And businesses are used to having business conversations. So, hi, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner. They're not always going to answer the phone. You might have to ask for them. I'm Tabitha with Keller Williams Realty. Listen, I will cut right to the chase. I'm in the process of creating a list of preferred businesses and service providers that I provide to my clients. Since I frequently have clients ask me for a good dentist, I thought I would reach out to you, right? I'm looking for a trusted company to refer them to, and I've heard good things. Are you accepting new patients? Yes. Would you and your business be interested in being included in my vendor list? There is no cost, just to get that right out there. I'm not a advertising person. This isn't a sales-based thing. I just want to know if you think that you'd be a good fit. Yes. Okay, great. I like to establish these professional referral partnerships to help grow each other's business as well. Out of curiosity, and I'm going to break script a little bit. What does like an ideal new client look like to you, and how would you prefer that I make that referral? Listen. Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm going to actually make that note here. And I'm going to follow up with you. I'm actually going to probably put together either a website or an extra page on my website with this. Is there somebody in your office I can check with to get like logos and things? Okay, great. Or, we don't want to do printed books anymore. And then if I could ask in return, if I were to refer clients to you, would you be willing to refer clients to me? Just people that you know, or if you have an employee in your office that needs to buy or sell a home, And I assure you, I'd provide you with them with the highest level of service, just like you would my referrals. Do you already have a realtor that you work with in this way? No. Great. How about we confirm each other's contact information so that I can get started sending referrals to you? And then I would actually say, and I'll be honest, I'd be bad at my job if I didn't ask you if you have any current or future real estate needs. Or do you know of anyone currently in your office that does? Okay. Like I said, I'd be bad at my job if I didn't ask. So I did my job, right? I'll follow up with your marketing person to get those logos, and I look forward to working with you. My background is in like corporate and business to business, so this really appealed to me. And I like it because they're used to getting these kind of calls, but just not from us, right? And this could be landscaping, lawn care, any business you can think of. We used to do a yellow pages exercise, and we would just say, open up the yellow pages. Call that business and see if anybody who is that in your area. Do you understand and do real estate in that area? Yes, call them. And if you've never made calls before and you want to practice just making calls, this is a very good way to do it. The stakes are very, very low. You're not bothering anybody because it's literally their job to build their business, and someone is getting paid to answer the phone there. And if you don't want to start with people that you know, or you have a discomfort with calling people that you know, you can start with a couple of these. Warm it up. Did everybody find the script book? If you went to find it, did you find it? Okay, awesome. I'm going to stop share. I'm going to do a big clap for Erica for being brave and being our script practice partner. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Let's come back over here and move forward with recap. So this is the part, unfortunately, that we're not able to do when we do these on Zoom. When we host this class in person, the recommendation is for us to do that, to run it as a 4-hour class. And so we have lots of time to break up into partners, do activities, and do lots of role play. If you wouldn't mind, if role play and practice is something that appeals to you, I would love to set you up with a script partner. If you already have a script partner, that's great. If you already are in a productivity coaching program and they offer script, that's great. If either one of those things doesn't apply and you would like to practice some of these things and get comfortable with it, and you don't want to say it 10 times to your spouse or your dog, then get a script partner, right? So if you would just raise your hand, or if you want to put a note in the chat if you'd like a script partner. The great thing about this class is that it's people who are usually, we can find people who are in a similar boat, people who are also new to real estate, people who are also new to KW, people who are in different age brackets or have databases in different income brackets, and we can partner you up with somebody that you can work with and practice. I'm gonna skip that. All right. Recap, questions, or ahas. And I'm gonna do the Linda McKissick, and I'm gonna say we're not moving forward until we have 3 of one of those things. Recaps, questions, or ahas.
I think my aha is about the business part, establishing relationships with different businesses and getting a referral base. And I mean, it's something I knew that I really needed to do, but to really actually start focusing on knowing who a good dentist is, all those different things, so that you add value, because that's what we should be, is adding value to our clients. And so that was a big aha for me.
Awesome. Thank you. And guys, if you're not on camera, I understand, but if you have an aha or a question, then you are welcome to put it in the chat too. Chat counts. Anyone else?
How often do you get referrals from those business people?
Are you asking me or other folks in the class?
Anybody that wants to answer?
Typically, I do not get referrals on the first round. I do usually when I follow up. Right? So it's not always a first time thing. I will tell you though, on the days that I would go and I would do what I call, I call it door knocking, but I'm not in the neighborhood. I'm door knocking businesses or just walking into businesses. I will usually end the day with at least one name and phone number to contact. And by the day, I mean an hour and a half of visiting businesses, right? And I'm taking down the information of the business, finding out a little bit about what they do. I might even say, you know, would you be interested in being a feature for a very short video on my Instagram page or on my Facebook page? There's no cost associated with any of this. It's just promoting partners, right? I did get a buyer that I closed that way, and I have gotten at least one listing that I have closed that way. It's not usually the people that I meet, it's somebody that they know that they refer me to. I would say though, and as much as I like that and that I enjoy talking about it, I do want to make sure that you don't do that instead of reaching out to your database, right? That is a great way to start, and it's a great complement to reaching out to your database. And it's not a replacement, but it is a really great opportunity if you need to grow your database to going out there and doing that. Because here's the other thing, the person I talked to on the phone goes in as a contact. The person that owns the business goes in as a contact, right? And now I'm just going to start talking to them the same way I do anybody else that's in my Met database. Can we get one more? And we are done a little early. Thought we might be.
Okay, so just maybe like a recap or aha, or I don't know. But like on the just practicing and keep doing it. I think there's definitely some value in that so that it doesn't sound like you're reading it, you know, so that it can be conversational. What I did was if I printed my scripts, I could just highlight a couple of just visual cues for myself so that I didn't feel like I was reading it and practiced it that way. So then it became my own without me actually having to read it and feel awkward about it.
Yes. The scripts are a guideline, and that's how I use them. And when I would even go door knocking, and we didn't spend a lot of time on door knocking, even though I really like that too, just because I don't know how comfortable people are right now with somebody coming to their door. But that, you know, it will come back around, right? Is that I would just have just a little couple teeny tiny bullet points. And it's reminders of things that I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget, right? The most important thing to not forget is to ask for a referral. In a nice way. And if they say they can't think of anybody, you go, oh no, that's okay. I would have kicked myself if I didn't remember to ask. Genuine, right? I would have just kicked myself if I didn't remember to ask. And I respect that you don't know anybody right now. Would you mind keeping me in mind? Not at all. Great. Thank you. Right? Yeah, I think the bullet points, the best thing you can do for yourself is a couple of things. So to recap, understand for yourself and be real honest about why if you're not doing this daily or at least a couple times a week, why not? What is stopping you, right? Make a specific plan of what, how, and when, by when, right? What, how, and by when you need to do to remove that reason not to, right? And practice so that when you do it, it sounds like you. my opinion of scripts is the same as my opinion of realtor headshots. It should look and sound like you, just the best version of you, but not like somebody else, and not like 20 years ago, and not like a magazine, right? That goes for scripts, and it goes for your pictures. I joke, but that is the case. It's supposed to be you, just the best version of you, right? With the best possible outcome. Right? So we have Ignite continuing through the next 2 weeks, right? With some really, really great instructors. I think I was originally on the books for next Friday and traded with Taylor. And so Taylor is going to do delivering your value proposition. We also have database coming up and a lot of other great components with a lot of great speakers and instructors that are in the real estate business every single day, out there working with buyers and sellers. If you have just general questions for them, that's always okay with us, right? Like, we never mind just answering questions. So because we're done a little early, I'm just going to kind of stay on. Anybody that would like to stay on and get a general question answered, or if you want to run through one of those other scripts that we didn't have a chance to, I can pull that back up and we can run through it. I'm so sad nobody asked for a script partner in the chat, so that's okay, but don't forget to practice. And practice is not reading it a bunch of times, right? It is, really saying it out loud and hearing it. If you don't have a person that you can say that with, ooh, it's painful, but tape yourself and watch it back. For me, if the options were find somebody to say it to or tape myself and watch it back, I will go find somebody, right? This class is recorded and I will never go watch it because I do not like watching myself on camera, but I'll practice with somebody, right? So please, I hope that you take that away, that there's value in that, right? All right, we have a person, Janae is going to practice with our Agent Sparkle. Perfect. All right, guys. I will stay on for a couple of minutes to answer any questions or practice scripts with anybody that would like to. And for everybody else, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for participating. I really appreciate it. And thanks for being brave. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.